into the 13 of Mike Snyder. I believe he's got a left front tire rub on that Ollie's truck. You can see the damage on that left front fender on the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, that's definitely a rub that could get serious. Hopefully it doesn't for him. That's definitely a
smoke as he gets on the brakes and that front end.
There's that contact right there with the 13 of Snyder.
Man, was he thinking he wanted to try to get underneath him, or is he just getting aggressive? No, sometimes you just got to let it roll off your shoulder and get back in the groove. Man, these guys are running hard. Definitely rubbing for Hunter Nemechek. Rhodes looking underneath Gilliland and trying to get that spot away from him.
And there's Haley, the 24. Admittedly, this is not one of his better tracks, favorite tracks. Up there in the 7th spot, looking good right now.
Yeah, he is. He's running P7. That's perfect right now, just trying to gain some points.
Rhodes and Gilliland side by side for 5th. You still see the smoke coming from that left front of Nemechek.
Man, I don't like that at all. It's definitely rubbing way too much on corner entry.
But he knows that if he comes to pit road, his race is over. He may be trying to make it to a caution flag, but the problem is if he makes it to a caution flag,
he might be the caution.
It comes to pit road, his race is still over. There's no way that he'll be able to overcome the track position.
It's definitely a tough situation. It could be a lose-lose for him here. We'll have to see how it plays out.
You know, Haley's sitting in that 7th spot in that 24 field, knowing that this is not a track he has a lot of confidence. They've got to be pretty pleased with where he's running right now.
I think so, without a doubt. Here's Brett Moffitt, a guy that's made steady progress from the start of the day. Up there racing with the 18 of Noah Gragson.
Everybody's kind of looking up ahead just to check that tire rub, just to see when things might happen.
Oh, Rhodes inside with a little contact, moving Nemechek out of the way. Rhodes is going to get that spot, and Haley and Gilliland coming along. Brett Moffitt sticking his nose in there.
Loving this 3 wide into turn 3 at Martinsville. These guys are getting after it.
Remember all that calm racing we saw on stage 1?
Not so much anymore. Definitely can see how the strategies are going to play out as this race unfolds, but these guys are definitely pushing hard, trying to get all that they can with lap times right now.
How about Brett Moffitt up there in the 8th position? That's the highest he's been this entire race.
Started 17th and was mired back in that 15, 16, 17 spot for much of the first couple of stages.
Yeah, he's actually 7th now as he got by John Hunter Nemechek, so on the move for Brett Moffitt.
Yeah, Haley and Moffitt, you know, they're definitely working the point system, running for a championship, having to play it cool, but this is when you've really got to get up on the wheel and gain as many points and as many spots as you possibly can. You see that side by side, just keep going.
And the 4 of Todd Gillen does not want to give that spot up because he knows if he does, he's probably going to lose the spot to the 16 of Moffitt.
He is not letting up, but what happens at this stage in the race is the outside groove starts to groom in a little bit, and you're able to carry some momentum out on the outside. But he's definitely not moving. If he was running for points, do you think he'd move over? Maybe. I don't think he's going to be moving over. He's just plugging away.
Haley digging in that 5th spot. He and Gilliland. Rhodes just ahead.
Moffitt's definitely playing a patience card here, waiting on these two. He's wanting to go, but Gilliland's racing him hard, and he has all the right to do such. There's nothing he's doing wrong. He's just trying to get clear and to get back out in front of Haley. That way he can start to run some lap times and try to chase down the top 5.
And he has a fast truck able to hang in there on the outside like he's doing.
Just can't quite clear the 24.
And this is where Haley is being smart. He knows he's running for a championship, and he doesn't want to step over the line, but there's just inches to give. Nobody's giving up any here. And Haley still has to try to make a clean pass because he doesn't want to have a tire rub. He doesn't want to have an issue coming into the next 70 laps.
Haley, the 19-year-old from Winamac, Indiana, opened the playoffs with a win at Canada, followed it up with a 3rd-place run at Vegas, and then 4th at Talladega. 2.7 his average finish through the 1st round, and he is backing it up here today at Martinsville. You see the points, the bottom left there of the championship standings. And right now, Haley finds himself on the outside by 6 points, so every single position matters. And finally, Haley puts away the 4 of Gilliland.
Yeah, looking at Justin Haley, we've been talking a lot about his performance in the 1st round of playoffs. Talking with him earlier, he said this is his worst racetrack, but you wouldn't know it judging from his performance so far today. He said if we can get through Martinsville, I feel really good about my performances at Texas Motor Speedway. On that last pit stop, they were able to make a track bar adjustment, and it seems like it has really helped this truck come alive.
Well, Haley's looking to check out now. He's looking to put the distance on Gilliland and get away and get back up towards another spot to be gained.
You see that Johnny Sauter lead a little more than 2 seconds over the 17 of Kyle Benjamin. Now, Benjamin stayed out when the others pitted there at lap 105. Benjamin has not pitted since lap 65, but he stayed out from 22nd to gain all that track position. Right now, it's paying off, Hermie, but how they feel about it?
Yeah, Vince is really, really impressive the way the 17 is able to hold on right now. He last was on pit road lap 65, but he didn't even get tires. Then he got tires earlier in the race, so a big disadvantage on tires. But remember back to the spring, he ran a similar situation, finished second, and really battled towards the end. So great job, Kyle Benjamin. Now the 41 of Ben Rhodes, we saw him really put the bumper to John Hunter Nemechek. This is not surprising. I heard his media availability yesterday, and he said, I'm not in the playoffs, but the gloves are off. As a driver, you look back at races or certain laps that you wish you could have back. Still disappointed he got spun out at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. So Ben Rhodes says he'll be as aggressive as he needs to be to try to win down the stretch.
Well, and just because you're not in the playoffs doesn't mean that you don't have 4 races. You can still go out and win. I mean, you still have sponsors to satisfy. I mean, it doesn't diminish your desire to go to victory lane.
Take a look at the 88 of Matt Crafton. He was just able to make the pass on John Nemechek. Let's see how he did it. There's just a little bit of a bump and run. Gets in the back of him, shoves him up the hill a little bit, and then just motors on by. Take another look at it from his visor cam.
I mean, it didn't look like he let off the brake any sooner. It just that Nemechek had trouble maintaining speed through the center of the corner, and that allowed Crafton to use the old chrome horn, move him out of the way, and get to the inside. So I like that move. Look at this Moffitt, though. He is definitely chiseling away and gaining spots, gaining time. Him and Haley running a really smart race right now. And getting back to Benjamin running in the 2nd position. Those are tires from a previous pit stop.
Lap 39, I believe, is when he put tires on that truck.
Kudos to them. They are definitely doing it, and he's definitely laying down the lap times right now.
And remember the 2 trucks in front of Haley, the 13 of Mike Snyder, the 41 of Ben Rhodes, took 2 tires on this most recent pit stop. Haley with 4.
Gotta like the way those tires have held up.
Definitely a lot of different strategies with the 2 and the 4. And so there's Sauter just out front clicking away and running his championship the way he wants to run it.
Justin Haley in that 24 truck right now on the outside of the playoff picture, 7 points behind the cut line, but he is inside the top 5, right at 5th. But Brett Moffitt right behind him, warming up the bumper. It's been an impressive run for Haley, though. Justin told me yesterday when we talked about not having any practice because of the rain, he said the fewer laps I do here, the better. I'm so bad here. Well, he's done a heck of a job to be running where he is.
I think right now, if they end this race and he finishes 5th, he would be tickled to death.
It's always tough at Martinsville, you know. Everybody tries to talk about, well, it's not a good track for me, and just the past history hasn't turned out well. And then when you get into that playoff mode and you've had a good truck all year, sometimes you end up with just a nice solid run where you're happy to get out of there.
Brett Moffitt moves right in on the tailgate of Haley. Moffitt's in the 16.
60 laps remaining here at Martinsville. Johnny Sauter has led 94 laps and continues to click them away. As you look at Brett Moffitt, there's Sauter in that 21. He's now led more than 500 laps this year. That's the most he's ever led in a single season.
What a year it's been for Johnny Sauter. Already 5 wins in the 2018 season.
He's looking to claim his 2nd Truck Series championship.
But crew chief Joe Shear, the combination that they have, every racetrack that they've gone to, short track, intermediate, road course, super speedway, you name it, that 21 truck, he's always up front.
There's the 4 of Gilliland and the 98 of Infinger. They had a little history this season.
Back at Talladega, they were racing for the lead. Kind of late in the going. Todd was running 2nd, Infinger was running 1st. They got together. Hard contact into the inside safer barrier for Todd Gillen in that one. Let's take a look at the right side of your screen. You see the 98 moves up the racetrack. As he moves back down, he makes contact with Todd. Hard contact into that inside safer barrier.
That's one of those moves where you're just thinking, what the heck did I just do wrong? And I'm the one that ended up spun. I was just going to make a move for the lead. That's how quick things can change, especially at a plate track.
Infinger was able to put that position away, and we go back to the battle between Haley and Moffitt. That's the battle for 5th.
Most of that time of day where the track is definitely rubbered in the most it's been. The groove is widened out a little bit, and race fans at home, just look at that concrete and the color of it, on how it's darkening up, and that the rubber is spreading out in a lot of different lanes. Now you start to be able to make moves and gain your momentum in different spots on the track instead of just having to stick to the bottom.
And Kurt, it's really getting cloudy, especially down here in turns 3 and 4. It's really darker now. I'm just curious, how do you think that's going to affect these trucks? I'm seeing a lot of brake heat as well. That could be another problem as we race toward the checker.
Yeah, anytime there's cloud cover, it just helps with cooling things down a little bit. As a driver, you go, oh, look, I'm going to get some free grip, because you think the track temp is going to drop a little bit and things won't be continuing to gain as much temperature. But with cloud cover, usually it means a little bit more grip, and it might help these guys on the long run.
Was that a subtle little nudge by the 98 in the back of the 24?
It was, as Haley goes from 5th to 7th. Not only did Brett Moffitt get him, but the 98 of Infinger did as well. Nobody's pressuring Johnny Sauter. The look at that. Almost 4.5 seconds for Sauter.
That's the biggest lead we've seen here in 3 or 4 years, I think, in the Truck Series.
Yeah, that different strategy that Benjamin has with his tires, but this tells you how good Sauter's truck is right now. And then with Snyder and Rhodes on the two tire sequence, they just haven't had a chance to have a yellow to have those 2 tires cool back off and reset and try to make a run out of them.
Remember, Brett Moffitt told us earlier today that they felt like they had a good long run truck, and we have seen Moffitt continually just march his way to the front.
Didn't we talk about him, how he was glued to 17th early in the race? And they're like,
Couldn't go anywhere.
What can we do? What are we going to do? And then boom, they start working their way on up.
Todd Gilliland and Matt Crafton now working each other for 8th.
What's interesting today with the KBM trucks, they had the lead early on, running 1-2. It was Gilliland and Gregson. And when they pitted at the end of stage 1, we really haven't seen them work their way back towards the front. I'm curious if their setups have just gone away as the track is rubbered in and they're not quite where they want to be.
Remember, the 18 of Gregson had a bit of an issue on his pit stop at the end of stage number 2, and has not really overcome the track position problem yet.
Yeah, he's still stuck back in 11. But here's Crafton. He's still defending that inside lane, and he's going to have to yield it on this one. John Hunter Nemechek dives to the inside with that run he had off turn 2. And that was a truck. Oh, yeah, little sideways there. We thought he was going to have that left front tire rub, but he's still battling it out.
Crafton had given the fender to the 4 of Gilliland for that position. Nemechek tried to come back and take the spot as well. Didn't pay off for him. And there's the 18 of Noah Gregson, Hermie.
Yeah, you guys mentioned trucks that were stuck back in traffic, and that's where the 18 has been basically since they came off pit road, right now battling to the bottom under John Hunter Nemechek in the 8. The one thing they've constantly been preaching to Noah on this last run, I'd like for Kurt to add on this as well, trouble on the racetrack. Caution, caution.
On the front stretch, it's the 83 of Dawson Cram. So Cram goes around, brings out the yellow. A little bit of contact, but not major damage.
It's definitely getting racy out there as far as guys on the different strategies. Tires are definitely fatigued at this point. This is one of those game changers on who's going to pit, who's going to stay out. That 5-second lead that Johnny Sauter was just enjoying is...
He didn't want to see that caution, did he?
I don't think any of our guys up front are going to give up the track position.
Deal here.
That's Joe Shear saying we're going to stay out here, obviously, but I think maybe some guys outside the top 10 with nothing to lose, go ahead and come in, maybe put some fresh tires in. Everyone should have another set of tires at least in the pits. I don't think Kyle Benjamin, even though he's 135 laps since he's been on pit road, I don't think he gives up second to come to pit road.
Watch the 83 of Cram there as Friesen tried to squeeze underneath him. The contact, and the 83 of Cram goes around.
Let's do say that Stuart Friesen is back on the lead lap. He took the wave around at the end of stage 2 to get back on the lead lap.
Well, that was a bumper cam shove off turn 2. Now here we are going into turn 3.
Camera survived.
Yeah, it did that run. That might have been from a lap previous as far as the contact that ended up happening off turn 4. But it'll be interesting. We'll have to see when the pits open what the call's going to be from some of those guys.
Yeah,
you know, Haley, Crafton,
Gilliland, Timothy Peters on pit road, as well as 75 of Parker Kligerman.
Hermie with Todd Gilliland.
Yeah, Vince, the 4 of Todd Gilliland just too tight to make moves back up through traffic. You can see going to the right side, they've already made a wedge adjustment on the left side of the truck, putting on 4 tires on the 4, but he's just too tight, stuck down in that traffic. Needs to roll the center better so the truck will rotate to get a straight shot off the corner. That's what the 4 is battling right now.
Well, and those are decisions that you've got to make as a crew chief, that if the truck's not good enough, we got to come in and change it.
Yeah, he
We've
wasn't
got to
going
make a change.
He wasn't going to win the race. He was going backwards from where he was. I think it's a great call by Marcus Richmond. Let's try something. Bring him down pit road, make an adjustment, put 4 tires on, and see if we can race to the end.
Yeah, Marcus Richmond, a 3-time winner as crew chief here at Martinsville. He knows what his driver needs to get to victory lane. Fascinating performance from Johnny Sauter, stage 1 and stage 2 winner, and he is out front, but Myatt Snyder dive into the bottom to take the lead.
bulldozing it in there.
Oh, and Enfinger goes around, some contact deeper in the pack.
This is that time in the race where everybody's on different tires, and it is nuts when you have one guy that spins his tires. It creates a chain reaction everywhere.
Go back to about 14th for the fresh tires, but I tell you what, they were not messing around on that restart. How about Myatt Snyder sticking it in there on Johnny Sauter?
Well, he really did. I don't think Johnny expected him to drive up beside him. Johnny got back by Myatt. Not sure if that was before the caution flag was displayed or not.
Tough break for Enfinger. He was 6th before that spin.
Kurt, that's another thing. What you were talking about, you're riding along. He's been really solid this entire race. We come with 40 laps to go. He gets turned around, takes all his track position away.
Yeah, when you're running 5 seconds ahead, just clicking off laps, you're in that zone. But, I mean, this is Johnny Sauter we're talking about. He's a championship contender. He's been running well all year, and he just didn't go down into one deep enough, maybe because his tires weren't ready.
Well, look at all the
the chain
trucks
reaction
getting
back
stacked up.
It's horrible. Christian Eckes didn't go on the restart. Somehow Enfinger gets turned around. The 99 of Purdy, Chase Purdy, gets turned around.
Could have been much more collateral damage than that, but only three trucks had their issues there.
Yeah, that's minimal damage for a lap
Martinsville.
after a restart at Martinsville.
A bad break for Enfinger, though, who was running up well inside the top 10 and had shown strength throughout the course of the day, and now finds himself losing 15 spots or so.
Yeah, they did put the 13 of Myatt Snyder back out in front of Johnny Sauter.
And Sauter's got quite a bit of damage on the left side of his truck. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if the roles are reversed now.
Yeah, this restart's going to be interesting.
Snyder, you're going to take the inside or you're going to take the outside?
You're not going to be able to get away from Johnny Sauter, whichever lane you take.
Watch this restart here in the front row and watch the dive from the 13 of Snyder inside of the 21 of Sauter.
Yeah, Sauter's thinking at this point, it's cool. And Snyder's like, nope, I see a window, I'm going for it. Can't fault the kid for not shoving it down in there, but that was definitely an aggressive move to a championship leader.
Coming off his best career finish last time out at Talladega, a runner-up finish. As you mentioned, Kurt, a lot of damage to the left side. It looks like the tires are up. Obviously, all the letters have been rubbed off the tires, but I don't see any low tires there.
Yeah, hopefully won't have so much damage for him or any kind of issue or a tire rub for later on. But that's this point in the race. There's so many different cycles, and the crew chiefs are just like, well, our job is done. We've made our bed. We have to let our driver lay in it, and he's got to do all he can to be able to navigate inside or outside, fresher tires or older tires, and then there's guys running for a championship, and there's guys running for the race win. Down to you, Caitlin.
Yeah, Kurt, listening to the 98 team of Grant Enfinger, Jeff Hensley, the crew chief, trying to keep his driver calm right now. Before that happened on track, he actually was complaining about having some power issues, so he said, go ahead and take all the tape off the nose. We'll go ahead and put 4 fresh tires on it, try and get clearance on that left rear tire as well, and see if they can't still have hopes for a championship and some points here today. Hermie.
You guys, we were talking about the 18 of Noah Gregson when the caution came out, and the one thing that they've been working with Noah is not picking up the throttle too quickly in the center of the corner, letting the truck roll through the center before they get it pointed off the corner now. He is fighting a free on entry condition. Rudy Fugle did not want to come down pit road and lose that track position, so they have asked him to put more front brake in this 18 truck to try to help him when he gets on the brakes on entry in the corner in these final 35 laps.
Keep our eye on that for sure. How about radio from Johnny Sauter after that restart?
I'll tell you what, if you get a spot, I showed no mercy with that little. There's no sense in that.
Well, some team communication there, and
That was a spotter.
yep.
Yeah, caught him by surprise. But
Crew Chief Joe Shear Jr.
It's hard
Spotter,
to fault
Tab
him, though. I
Boyd.
mean, it's hard to fault him because he drove in there. As you mentioned, Johnny was just being a little bit conservative, getting in the corner. Didn't want to slide up into the outside into Benjamin.
it's one of those things where you're running for a championship, and then with Snyder, you're running for a race win. That's when you have the clash of opinions, differences, and the way you're attacking on restarts.
Snyder, Rookie of the Year candidate, and the leader in the Rookie of the Year points. Watch him dive in here on Sauter in that 21.
Definitely threw it in there deep. I mean, Sauter did not expect that, not one bit. And that sometimes is that feel of you were just out there with a 5-second lead, but you got to switch over. You got to defend. And
Put yourself in Sauter's shoes. Are you mad at Myatt Snyder after that move?
I am definitely on my heels going, whoa, what was that all about? But I got to put my thinking cap back on and go, I've got 35 laps left in this race. I'm running for a championship, and I can't not let this little guy and his move take away the run we've had today.
I think we all know Johnny Sauter enough to know that he was very mad when that happened. He probably lost his cool. The spotter was just the calm equation in that combination. So this restart is going to be crazy interesting to see if Schneider dives too deep into the corner and slides him and Sauter both up out of the groove. That could be a possibility.
Yeah, I think that radio was the only bit of radio we could play. It would be my guess,
And I
was the
think
radio from Tab Boyd. The
Some of that
spotter.
was beeped, I think. So.
Hey, I checked the stat book. Johnny Sauter's 40 years old now. He can definitely pull the veteran card when he wants. That's my age.
Snyder trying
Old.
to get his first career win. Got to take those shots when you get them.
How about Moffitt has made his way all the way up to the third spot in the
Yes,
16. He might be in the catbird seat right here on this restart.
Let's see how this
Snyder on the
goes.
inside and Sauter on the outside. Restarting, going to bring us to 33 to go. And now Moffitt taking a look on the inside.
Holding our breath here, but it looks like Sauter's going to clear off turn 2 and try to set sail like he was early on, but Snyder's not having it. He's right there.
Moffitt getting underneath Benjamin, going to secure that third spot. Hope so. But how about Kyle Benjamin hanging in there? Has not had tires since, what, lap 39?
He tried to pull it to the inside there and put on a good line on entry, but he is definitely doing an exceptional job on the 17 truck, trying to help hold on with those way old tires. I mean, it's super up. And Moffitt doing his deal, just keeps plugging away as a veteran, grabbing those spots when he can when other people make mistakes.
Yeah, it's been a great run for that 16 of Moffitt. They haven't had back-to-back top 10 finishes since March. In fact, when they were here in March, and it just you wonder about that inconsistency and what that might cost them in the championship chase, but they have been spot on today. So impressive.
Look at Benjamin holding him off up there, Phil. I mean, he's going to try to come back down to the inside and hold him off still. Chain reaction. Everybody starts piling up. 16, 41, 8. Everybody's going to start getting a little bit more impatient as these laps click off.
I think Benjamin in the spring had the oldest tires among the guys battling for the win, and he ended up second in that race. So he knows how to manage these older tires.
He's doing tires over old tires anytime.
I want to hear that paper flapping on those sticker tires.
Pretty impressive for just his second start in the Truck Series, as you see Matt Crafton now in that 88 trying to make his way toward the top 10.
And how about Stuart Friesen battling back after that flat tire and spin, racing just outside the top 10?
Yeah, he's made his way back on the lead lap and
Got the free pass.
with Gilliland. He came in and got tires on that pit stop. I don't think Crafton did. So Crafton's definitely trying to hang on here. He's falling back to 13th with those older tires. Not necessarily in a good spot.
No.
Getting into points like he needs to.
Johnny Sauter continues to lead while you watch the view of Matt Crafton. A little contact with Todd Gilliland there in the 13th and 12th positions.
Love the visor cam, though. It puts you right in the battle, and The key thing about any time you're at a short track is not staring at that truck in front of you. You have to absorb and look ahead and look at Friesen, look at Gregson, look beyond all the way up to that white truck, and then just grab those other trucks in front of you in your peripheral vision.
He really hardly even sees that truck in front of him. Isn't that right, Kurt? I mean, it's there, but he's not concentrating at all on that truck.
You're concentrating on your 4 tires and looking ahead, and if you do catch yourself looking at that guy's tailgate, then you're all wrong and you're out of sequence.
Moffitt making another run at Benjamin and secures that spot this time. So Brett Moffitt into the 3rd position. And now Ben Rhodes right to the back bumper of that 17.
Remember, Ben Rhodes only 2 tires on his last stop, but they're a lot newer than the 17 of Benjamin's. Looks like Ben's going to get to the inside.
He tried. He was just touching him. He was just kind of like moving him out of the way, like one polite push of the hand, push of the nose of the truck.
Just a suggestion.
You should move over. I'm coming through.
And he does.
Makes the pass clean.
Benjamin slips back to 5th.
But this will be a time now for Benjamin just to settle back in and run some laps. But looks like we got John Hunter Nemechek on pit road. Is he under power?
It's awfully
look
slow.
like it.
It looks like he's slowing the pit road speed.
Turn in right there.
Taking it into the garage.
Tough
for John
break.
Hunter Nemechek.
That left front tire held. We speculated that it may not, but some other sort of an issue for John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, I hate that. That's a great sponsor to have on that truck. And yeah, we thought the left front tire would go first, but something else happened there.
Johnny Sauter by more than a 1.5 seconds out front of Myatt Snyder. Snyder coming off a runner-up finish at Talladega, but he has got company. Brett Moffitt. How about the move that Moffitt has made today? He finished 14th in stage 1, 9th in stage 2, and now he's heating up Myatt Snyder for that 2nd spot.
Remember, he finished 3rd here in the spring, so he knows how to get around this racetrack.
Camping World 20 to go here at Martinsville, and those 20 will go by quickly. Doesn't take long to get around this half mile.
It sure will. Running 21-second lap times. Moffitt, I was just going to tell you, hey, buddy, you don't have a mark on your truck. And he's using the old chrome horn to move Snyder out of the way. You can tell Moffitt has run a really smart race, and he hasn't gained many stage points yet today, so he's definitely trying to cash in and get up to 2nd spot. And that would also give him an opportunity on the restart to be on the front row.
If he does get to us, I think we'd be smart here, though. Okay. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather finish 3rd than be wrecked.
Technically, if you're Snyder, you would want him to go by. That way you get back to 3rd and you line up on the inside on a restart. Yes, and go back to that spot that he was in when he tried to dive bomb Sauter.
That was crew chief Rich Lushes and Brett Griffin, the spotter, talking about it.
Some big picture racing there and understanding the significance of just getting a good, strong finish today. And for a rookie driver like Myatt Snyder, that is important.
Yeah, and keep piling him up, too. We mentioned he had a runner-up finish at Talladega for his career best. Let's put another top 3 with that.
He's definitely getting his feet underneath him and finding different speed at different tracks and finding the rhythm. If you do it at a big track, that's one thing. Do it at a short track, that's another, and that's when you're starting to move forward and getting your comfort level.
Noah Gregson inside of Timothy Peters, and that's going to be for 8th.
Gregson definitely leads this spot. He's had a quiet day. He wants to gain those stage points, but here, this is towards the finish. You got to pour it all in there right now. There's no more holding back.
Yeah, if we go another 15 laps and this camera survives, you're going to owe us $1 too, Kurt.
I'll pay up the $1. He tried to just nudge it off right there. It's like he was listening.
Moffitt's been into the back of Snyder a couple times here.
Oh, he's gonna have a spot now.
Yeah, you got to believe the patience is running thin, and they're telling him, go ahead and give that spot up. And Moffitt will take the position from Myatt Snyder.
He's going to come back low into 3 to kind of throw the block at Rhodes.
He'll have a bad angle.
Rhodes is just going to start to move him out of the way. Is that back bumper technical inspection height anymore? Look at that thing. It's been moved.
I think you can drive under that back bumper right now.
But he's running 3rd. Nobody cares.
Ben Rhodes in 4th. Had such a great run here in the spring. Having another one backing it up here today as Crafton continues to try to work on the 4 of Gilliland.
Crafton's got to gain these spots. He is on the outside looking in. And a little slip up there. Should be able to get to the inside and get a clean drive off. And you should be able to outbrake him going into 3.
Got Enfinger right behind him. Remember, fresh tires on that 98 of Enfinger.
Oh, Crafton's working hard. He is loose on entry there, especially with Enfinger on his rear tailgate. That got him loose getting in. That was tough. But Crafton has to fight. He's got to fight. He's -10 right now. And the way his truck, the way that him and his crew chief, Junior Joyner, all year long, they just haven't quite had that raw speed. He's got to fight for these spots.
10 to go here at Martinsville. The 4 of Todd Gilliland started on pole today, but right now finds himself 12th. Johnny Sauter out front.
Remember how good the KBM trucks were in qualifying. 1, 2, 3. Maybe as it got cloudy and this racetrack changed, maybe that didn't fit with their setup, because right now the highest running KBM truck is Harrison Burton in 7th, Gregson in 8th, and you have Todd Gilliland back in 12th.
The track's changed so much from the green racetrack that it was this morning. And I say green, that means there's no rubber on it. It's fresh and it grabs the tires. Now that it's rubbered in and you see all this dark patches everywhere, it's slicker. It's harder to get a hold of. And your setup is completely different. I wish right now we could go run Monster Energy Cup Series Happy Hour after the truck race, because then it would resemble more of what we're going to race tomorrow for 500 laps.
Than what your previous practice was.
And so that's why some of the KBM trucks qualify good, and then the setup just seems to fall off. But I'll tell you what, Sauter all day long, just clicking off laps. You know, Moffitt has worked his way from qualifying poorly up into 2nd. So sometimes you got to just play the tortoise approach and work him and get him at the end.
Johnny Sauter getting ready to come to the line. There'll be 6 to go as we take a look at our 4 track facts. Martinsville, first one of 2 tracks where the series has competed in all 24 seasons, and be going to Phoenix and ISM Raceway in a couple of weeks.
It'll be a great one out there. Start-finish line's going to be over in what used to be turn 2, right?
There's going to be a lot of will you be confused by that?
Oh, for sure. I'm in the over 40 club. I don't know which corner is going to be which.
5 to go.
Johnny Sauter with over a 3-second lead right now is saying, please, everyone, be calm. No caution flags here.
Yeah, he definitely wants this to go green to the end. And then Benjamin running top 5. He wants to hang on to that top 5 spot. It's been an interesting race on how the strategies unfolded, and everybody survived on those restarts for the most part, other than Effinger, with the way that he got turned around.
See the points there in the bottom left with Johnny Sauter. Came in as the leader and certainly doing nothing to harm his chances at a championship with his run here today. Gregson, Moffitt, Enfinger, with Justin Haley and Matt Crafton on the outside. They were both on the outside looking in when this race started, and things have changed a couple of different times, but there they find themselves again sitting 5th and 6th.
Solid run, though, for Justin Haley. Qualified outside the top 10. Right now running in the 6th spot. If he can maintain that with Harrison Burton, the 51 right in his tailgate, I think he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, gold star for him today, and Moffitt as well. But I tell you, it's been a Johnny Sauter kind of day.
Final couple of laps. Johnny Sauter into turn 3. He'll take the white flag this time. Johnny Sauter, half mile to go for Sauter. 5 wins this season for Johnny Sauter, and he's about to add to the total. And with this win, he will secure his spot in the championship 4. Johnny Sauter will get his 4th win at Martinsville. No one has won more in the truck than Johnny Sauter.
Fantastic job from that team today. Way to go. Automatic berth to the Homestead round. Battle for championship.
There's Joe Shear, crew chief. Great job, buddy.
Good job, guys. Great job.
There have been others to win 3 races here at Martinsville in the truck. Nobody has ever won 4 until today. Johnny Sauter wins for the 4th time. To get that grandfather clock.
He won in every room at Johnny Sauter's house.
He's all fired up. Burn it down, Johnny. Probably don't need that engine anymore, right?
Huge win for Sauter to secure his spot in the final 4 and a chance at the championship at Homestead. Hermie?
Well, Joe's 6th win on the season, and you guys are going to Homestead to race for another championship. What a dominating performance. Did you have any idea before the race started you'd had this kind of a truck?
Well, yeah, we always run good here. You know, I love this place. Johnny loves us. We're a bunch of short track racers. But, you know, NASCAR threw us for a little loop here with no practice, so we just put our old setup in it and tweaked on it a little bit. And that shows how good this team is and how good Johnny is here.
That's Joe Shear. His team and Johnny Sauter is going to victory lane at Martinsville.
Yeah, it says they're short track guys, and they are indeed. They won 2 of the 5 short track races this season, winning at Bristol and then backing it up with the win here today at Martinsville. Johnny Sauter, a dominating performance. Led 149 laps, led stage 1, stage 2, and won the race. Next Friday night, we'll be in the Lone Star State in Texas. Another opportunity for somebody to punch their ticket to Homestead and a shot at the championship.
And who won that race? We were there in June.
That was
Johnny Sauter.
Johnny Sauter
Yes.
won this race at Texas last fall. And in fact, he won at Texas and then he won at Phoenix as well. So won't mess around with Sauter. He might just go on a run right to the finish. Hey, what a good run for Brett Moffitt today. Finished second. Caitlin?
Yeah, Vince, runner-up for Brett. Him just telling me the most disappointing second-place finish he's had. How would you kind of assess your team effort and your day here in Martinsville?
From where we started the day, I thought we were really good. We didn't unload the best, we didn't qualify the best, but we got there by the end. It's a bummer we didn't get a bunch of stage points like we needed to, but a second-place finish, and the guys work hard at HRE. I got to thank Toyota, TRD, Andy, Tyler, and Jack, everyone that's gone to bat for us, and Mark Conquest and these Joe Gibbs engines. So, you know, we've had badass tools all year long, and just thankful they get to let us use them. And also Ison and A&W North Carolina for everything they do in making this race team happen.
Nicely done. 10th top 5 performance so far this year for Brett. Michael?
I've caught up with Justin, Haley, Caitlin, and I've heard you talk for 2 days about how bad you are here. You finished 6th. That's an awesome performance.
Well, first of all, you made me sit on this wall because you're so tall and I'm so short that the camera would have just cut you off at your neck. But really good performance out of the GMS crew, everyone at Fraternal Order of Eagles. Really proud of that. Really have not been the best at Martinsville. We got 5 starts here and only 1 top 10, so there and unload off the hauler. Maybe we should start doing that more often, but no, just really proud. It was a really good day, and hopefully we can keep performances like that up so we can be in the round 4.
Right on. Vince?
Yeah, well done indeed. They really like their chances going to Texas because right now he finds himself a couple of points on the outside of the cut line while Sauter has punched his ticket to Homestead. Gregson and Moffitt with solid efforts today that padded their lead a little bit, and Enfinger just above the cut line. And the winners in victory lane, and Hermes there.
Johnny Sauter climbs out of this 21 truck. Victory lane at Martinsville. 4th win at this racetrack. Not sure I've seen one any more dominant than one you got today. Johnny, I was talking to Joe Shear, your 4th win at this racetrack, and you did this one today. Little chilly? Little chilly? You did this one today with no practice. What a dominating performance by your team. I asked him, I'll ask you the same question. When did you know you had what you needed to dominate this race like you did today?
I didn't know. You know, these guys busted their tails. Everybody at GMS chassis shop, fabrication, everybody there. Suspension room, body shop, everybody. You know, we came here and they did a lot of work with a new setup. Had it all ready to go. We come here and it's raining and I'm like, now what? And he's like, you got to put the old stuff in. We can't run that. So, yeah, I'm just so proud of everybody. ISM Connect, Chevrolet, thank you so much. Allegiant Travel, Sunseeker Resorts, just, it's a good day to be in a Chevrolet, I can tell you that. So just say hi to my wife and kids. So proud of these guys. Pit stops were awesome. You know, just track position seems to be the name of the game here anymore, and just got to thank everybody. This is a big win.
And if there's such a thing as smooth sailing, you had it going until the next to the last restart, then you had a little drama. What were you feeling, and what did you see on that restart with the 13?
Yeah, you know, I felt like I had a good restart, but obviously I'm not sure that he would have made the corner if he didn't dive bomb it in there. I was like, oh, he's inside. I'm like, okay, but you know, I had really good grip on the outside, so I felt like compelled to almost take the outside groove. That leaves you open to get a bonsai shot. So just so proud of everybody at GMS, and I thank the Sacred Heart of Jesus, Blessed Mother. October's the month of the Rosary, so it's been a good one, and we're going to Homestead to race for a championship. That's what it's all about.
That's Johnny Sauter. He's victorious at Martinsville.
Yeah, got it.
In convincing fashion, Sauter leading 149 of the 200 laps today. And Johnny Sauter wins at Martinsville for the 4th time. Welcome back to Martinsville. You know, for the first time ever, NASCAR Race Hub presents the Fans' Choice Awards, where you get the chance to vote on your favorite moments from this season.
Fans' Choice Awards! We choose Austin Dillon wins the Great American Race. Best paint scheme.
Best crew chief. Best command.
Y'all ready to roll ball? Start your engine! Best celebration. Clint Boyer. He's your winner in Michigan.
You need to vote. Wildest wreck.
Radio sweetheart.
He's such a dip. What a waste of space.
Vote, vote, vote.
Yes, vote. Voting continues all next week, so tune into NASCAR Race Hub each night, 6 o'clock Eastern, to find out the daily category. And the Race Fans' Choice Awards will air in November on FS1. Let's check in downstairs with Caitlin.
Grant Enfinger ended up 14th here today at Martinsville Speedway. Still 2 points to the good. I know you were struggling with some power issues there towards the end. What all were you dealing with throughout the course of that race?
Yeah, just a frustrating day. Brakes were starting to go away about 30 or 40 laps in, and the alternator went out. And then I don't know if we drove through or if he was there. I got called clear, and I went to the bottom. And next thing I know, we were wrecking down there in 1 and 2. So pretty unfortunate day because we had a good Protect the Harvest Ford F-150. I feel like we're a solid top 5 truck all day. So pretty frustrating not to get the finish we deserve.
Thank you.
Myatt Snyder, Johnny Sauter had a dominant truck. He's a championship leader, but you saw an opportunity and you pounced on it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't not take those opportunities here at Martinsville Speedway. You know, somebody leaves the door open and you just got to take it. So, you know, I'm sure he would have done the same move if it was me. So you don't regret those moves, but of course you don't want to rough anybody up, especially a guy like that. But no, I'm just proud of everybody on this 13 team. We brought up a great Louisiana Hot Sauce Ford Performance Ford F-150. So I'm so proud of these guys because we made some huge improvements over the last Martinsville race. So yeah, just an awesome race for us and gained some points, I think. So good day.
You made the end fun. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, nice job indeed. A second and a third in back-to-back races for Myatt Snyder, the leader in the Rookie of the Year category. So Myatt's having a good end of the season with some strong runs. How about, Kurt, what you take away? What's jumped out at you and impressed you from this race today?
Right away, Johnny Sauter just came into this, put the stamp on how he's going to run for this championship. The toughest day award I would go to Enfinger. Just didn't quite survive that restart battle. But all in all the championship contenders seemed to have a decent day. I mean, Noah Gragson ended up in the top 10 and didn't lose any points.
I really thought that maybe how the strategy would play out is if a guy went on to get stage points like Johnny Sauter did, he might not be in position to win the race. Well, he proved us wrong. He had such a dominant truck. He's punched his ticket to Homestead. We knew that he would be one of the guys to beat. Now I think it's his championship right now to lose.
What impressed me was Kyle Benjamin. I mean, he pitted last for tires at lap 39, came again for fuel at 65, and went all the way at another top 5 in his 2 races in a truck. He's been runner-up and 5th in the 2 races here at Martinsville. Really impressed with that young guy.
How does this guy not get more opportunities to get in a good vehicle?
Yeah, so impressive. Now we go to Texas. That's the next time, and quite a different track than what we saw here today. Does that benefit anybody in particular, you think, Phil?
Well, I mean, Johnny Sauter is going to be really good. I think it's really too early to call. I think we're going to have so many guys there in contention, and guys are going to be jockeying for playoff points and for stage points. It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. For Hermie Sadler, Caitlin Vincey, Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, and Kurt Busch, I'm Vince Welch. Coming up next, FS1 College Football. Big 12 action live from Lawrence, Kansas, as the Horned Frogs of TCU take on the Kansas Jayhawks.